All right, Chester, tell him what happened.
So, it's pretty simple. We went to go and get you know, Baron's wound fixed up,
Yes, I saw that.
and he stole a lot of money from me and over
Stole?
here. Yeah,
How did he steal this
stole.
money?
He kept it from us. You remember the party?
The party?
Yeah, the giant festival we threw. Yeah,
Yes.
he kept all the money from that.
You earned
And,
money from that?
Oh, yeah, we earned a lot of money from that.
I was
That
not
was the
aware
whole
of
point.
this.
Yeah, that was the point of it. And he kind of just kept it from us. And then he used it to pay for his wounds. I mean, we might have lent it to him if he asked, but he just did it. So I kind of needed it back. Really bad.
Enough to kill someone over it?
Really bad.
An innocent man
yeah.
didn't need to die?
Yeah, I would have done that for like 5 gold. If we're gonna be honest here. I probably would have done that anyway, just for doing it. If
You
we're
would
gonna
just
be
kill a
really
man
honest.
because of it.
Have you not listened to anything Arcadia has said in the last 3 weeks?
Yeah. Oh, I know. And she looks at you, and she, like, gives you almost a cold stare when you say this, and she's like, fine. But get on your knees. Now.
Alright. Okay. Chester gets on his knees, nervously.
She pulls out her longsword and puts it at your neck, but it doesn't, not to the point to where like it's cut, drawing blood or anything. But she puts it at your neck, and she looks at Vi, and then she looks at Chester. You're going to swear to me this: so long as you are in my service, you will not kill an innocent man. Is that clear?
Alright.
No, I need not an alright. I need yes. I swear this.
It's gonna cost you extra.
Cost is not a problem.
Alright, I'm in. Yes, I swear to you. Fingers, of course, crossed behind my back. No one can see that.
Of course. And she pulls the longsword away and sheaths it. Now stand.
Standing.
She looks over at Vi. Do I have permission?
Depends on what you are asking permission for.
I think you know.
This one time.
She slaps you as hard as she fucking can to you, Chester. Probably knocking you to the ground with it.
Yeah, Chester's over here and just flat out down. He's gone.
And it's the large mark, and she's like, that felt good. I hope you learn your lesson.
Chester's just passed out on the ground.
She looks over at you, Vi, and she's says, make sure he learns this lesson.
What do you think I've been trying to do for years, my lady?
She smiles and she nods, and she says, so long as you two's work or with me, I need to know that I am placing good trust within you. Killing innocent men is not what I want. If men need to die, I want to be sure it's for a good enough reason, not because of pettiness.
I think your message is loud and clear. And I think she looks down at Chester and then looks back up at you.
Good. Because the next mistake will be his last. I will make sure of that. And she starts walking off then.
I think that I would crouch down and try to, get Chester awake.
Yeah, you make him awake.
Uh-huh.
Very, very slightly awake.
Yeah, he comes to.
That was... I'm glad that only you're the one that hits me, Vi. I don't think I could take another one of those.
You feel the jaw bruise.
Yeah, you're doing like the whole like rub your jaw and open your mouth like real wide. No.
Trying to crack it back in place,
Right, exactly. Cool. So you all have a fine Kislevian dinner. Kislevite actually is what it's called.
Yeah, Morella's pretty quiet during the dinner too.
Kislevite dinner, awkward silence in the in the room. And Farron is notably absent, but I think you guys feel pretty safe about what's going on there.
Indeed.
So when you guys go to sleep, like how does that work? Are you? Like,
I love how you forgotten about me there, Jordan.
Oh no, I haven't. They knew you were gone.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Hannibal. I haven't forgotten about you. I've got just the perfect thing for you.
No.
A nice side order of death with some pain involved.
Oh no,
Yeah,
it's going to be
Jordan-
far worse than that.
Indeed.
So,
He's gonna get puck stuck inside the
So eventually, if you're asking us about like sleeping order and things like that, you would notice, I suppose, like after the dinner, like Morella would wait until everyone is like going towards bed and things like that. And I think if there's any remaining wine left, she would take the remaining bottle and start drinking it, the rest of it, in one I suppose sitting type of thing. She would gulp down the rest of it.
okay.
I've had enough of your shit drink.
Yep.
Okay,
So.
cool. So, Hannibal.
Hmm.
You get back over there, and there's obvious, clear patrols, for a couple of, streets out from the Sigmar Temple. But the call to arms hasn't really been risen as much. Probably because nothing was actually stolen, right? Ostensibly by this time, an inventory was completed, and they realize, oh, nothing's actually gone, so what the heck happened here, really? But there's still, a very significant increase in the amount of guards in the general vicinity.
Okay, I'm a dimension door to where I was the first time I dimension doored.
To
that abandoned room.
Okay, so you're actually going to go inside?
I have to, don't I?
Roll a perception check. I've got a way for this to happen, don't worry. Yeah, 19's good enough. So maybe you are you walk around, you find a good. You have to get close enough, right?
Can I actually roll a hit dice? Has it been enough time for a short rest?
Yeah, I would say there's probably been an hour. You can roll some hit dice if you want.
Okay.
How many do you have left?
5.
Okay.
I'll leave 1 in there.
Just in case.
Yeah.
Cool. So, I think that you have to get close enough, right? And getting close enough is the hard part here, because dimension doors are what, 500 feet, 300 feet?
Yeah.
Getting 300 to 500 feet away right now is not easy. So you are trying to navigate around, and you got to duck inside for a patrol, and you can't seem to get that close. But then you see there's a grate in the ground, and you see a faint blue light coming from it. So you go over and you look, and you see down into that dome-shaped room that I described before, where they perform their rituals and stuff. And you can see that there appears to be some type of shimmering barrier, and there's this little blue figure, it is clearly Puck, that is like flying up and slamming into it, and then like floating back down a few feet, and then flying up and slamming into it, and floating back down a few feet, and then flying up and slamming into it, and floating back down a few feet.
I would like to just interrupt and go, "What the hell are you doing?"
So I think that she doesn't stop, like she keeps doing it, and then she looks and she sees you, and she flies up to the top, and you see her like put her hands on this like invisible barrier and start banging, and you can tell she's like screaming, but you can't hear her.
Can I try to dismiss her real quick? Just to check.
No, she's not technically your familiar. And even if so, you wouldn't be able to do it.
Can I try to reach in?
Sure. I think you reach your hand through the grate and it gets stopped by this invisible barrier.
Could I try to dimension door into that room?
You can certainly try, yes.
I'd like to try.
The spell fizzles. You can't get through the barrier with any magic.
Does it take up a spell slot?
No, it does not.
Okay, I have to figure this shit out.
You go and you know like you had to like get through. And she's like banging and screaming, and you can't hear her, and you get like, so you've seen her, like she's not visible a whole lot of the time, but when she is, her light is typically like pretty bright and shines fairly brightly. She's very dim right now, and if you take a closer look, you can tell that she is at the point of exhaustion.
Can I write down? I have a piece of paper.
Yeah.
And all that. I'd like to write down. Stop doing what you're doing. You're just exhausting yourself.
Yeah, and you hold it up to the barrier.
Yeah.
I think she just nods and like goes silent, and she's just like floating.
I'd like to also write a message. Go to the downstairs portion, like the doorway, like where we walk down to get to the to what's it called?
I think she shakes her head and she like points all around her.
Oh, you're trapped in that right now. You're trapped in that room.
You see her nod her head vigorously.
Okay. All right. Can I, from my angle, could I possibly see like an angle of like to the outside?
A little bit, but it's dark and the room is not lit up. So, but for you, actually, that doesn't matter. Yeah, you can see fairly well. You can see all the way down to the floor. And you can see.
No, what I mean is like there's that dome room and the grate's on top, right?
Yep, the grate's right.
There should be a doorway out there. Like there should be a doorway, like should be a door like to get into that room, right?
Yeah, there is.
Am I able to see that door?
Yeah, for sure.
I would like to take off my mask and still not like clothes, and then dimension door right into that hallway. I'm able to do it without seeing it as long as I know sort of where the location is.
Yeah, but the fact is there's two different spells at work here. So, yeah, it's still in the underground complex.
Okay, so
roll me a history check. So, you remember Chester said something to you, right?
Yeah.
About how things pass through the barrier?
Oh, shit, yeah, alright, I say it.
Okay, you say it, and, like, you try and reach your hand, and it doesn't work.
Okay. How about I say it, then I try to dimension door to that point where I talked about before?
Nope, still doesn't work.
Fuck me, goddamn it.
Puck, like, looks, and she's like... She holds up her hands and, like, shrugs, like, what are you doing?
I'm trying to get in there, asshole, I write down.
She's like... She shrugs again. She's, like... She does the, like, hand-waving back and forth, like... Okay, how?
Yeah. Fuck it, I write down, wait there. And then I do what I originally planned. I dimension door to that spot.
Okay, yeah. You can totally get there.
Yeah.
Luckily, you don't have anybody sleeping in that room.
Yeah, so then I walk down.
Okay.
Like I go down, down, down.
Yeah, roll me a stealth check.
Do I need to? I'm not trying to hide.
Okay.
I'm trying to be like, how should I put this? Would it be more of a performance and like I'm trying to act like I belong?
I think it would be a performance check. Yeah, I think that's a good one. 13's okay. I think there is a point though where you're probably like, you're walking like typical acolytes do, and the hallways are fairly empty. Except for there are like patrols and stuff, so like maybe like you keep your hood up and you nod at the patrols and they nod back at you, and they say certain things. But there's probably a point at which you walk past what is the equivalent of an infirmary, and you glance inside just to see if there's anybody there, and you can see that like sitting on one of the beds. In fact, you probably hear it first. You hear the sound of a sharpening stone on a blade, just and like you glance side eye as you pass the doorway, and you see it's the guy that you guys were fighting with, and he's got his longsword out like laid across him, and they're like just the fire in there is the only source of light, so it's glinting like strangely across his armor, which is still on, and his sword, so it's casting these odd shadows in the room, and he's just sitting there like 1,000-yard stare, sharpening his longsword.
I'm gonna need to be careful of that shit, and I advance on.
Yeah, you continue on. Eventually, you get to the staircase that leads down into the vault area, and before you get there, you can see, again, there's 2 priests and 2 knights that are standing guard at the staircase.
Mm-hmm. Alright, and then so I walk up, and then I start heading down. And then I mutter the prayer once I get to what I perceive as the barrier.
Once you get there, though, they stop you. And one of the priests says, Acolyte, what is your business in the vaults today?
Hold on a second. I'm looking up a name.
Okay.
What's it called? Theogenous Wayfarer. He told me that he said that I needed to go down to where the acolyte was questioned, because apparently he left something there that we might be able to track.
I think the priests looked at each other a bit confused. Roll a deception check. Hmm. 10's kind of hard. I think that they look at you and they say, that is opposed to our orders. We've been ordered not to allow anyone in until the morning.
Okay. And so I turn back. I'm not gonna...
You're not gonna stab him in the throat with a dagger? All of them?
No, I'm not. I gotta think.
Lame.
I need to think all the way through, and I shouldn't just do sleep because I need that spell slot to get out of there.
Also, there's 4 of them, so you probably may not get all 4 of them with the sleep spell.
Yeah.
I'll give you a second to think if you want, though.
Yeah, I would like that.
Yeah, sure. So we go back to the group of you is sleeping in the thing, and I think you all hear maybe like a... Actually, Farron, roll me a stealth check. Let me just have you roll a stealth check. And the rest of you can roll perception checks at disadvantage because you're sleeping. Ooh, nice one.
My better skills.
Yeah, I don't hear shit.
Morella's asleep. That's probably good.
Yep.
Chester is passed the fuck out.
I hit him hard.
That's true.
Yeah, he's gone from the hit.
Petrov and Vi, you guys want to roll perception checks for me? Disadvantage because you're asleep.
I think Arkady is just too out of it to even want to roll perception on this.
Sure, yeah. So, Farron, you creep into the abode, and you hit a floorboard that creaks, and you hear some like snoring from the other room, and you continue on to wherever your abode is. Let me get you over there. Boom. There you go. You get over to whichever room you decide. Like, you have to go to each room and like see if there's anybody in there, and then find one finally that suits you, and you go to sleep. Cool. So back to Hannibal real quick. Hannibal, you figured anything out?
Yeah, I'd like to approach again and say, "Listen, I'm sorry. I lied.
Okay. They kind of they look confused and they like look at each other and look back at you.
I was down there with everybody else, and I left my holy symbol down near the vaults, and I got to study in the morning, and I really need it. Do you think I just need to go down there for a minute and go grab it? Do you think you could just let me go do it? I'm sorry. I know this isn't good or anything. I just, I'm new to this whole thing, and I really need to make a good impression on everybody."
Yeah. I think that one of the priests like touches his holy symbol and like sets an arm on your shoulder, like a hand on your shoulder, and says, "My child, lying is one of the greatest sins. Sigmar was always truthful, as you should be as well."
I'm sorry, sir. I don't come from a great background, sir. I'm trying to do better, but it's difficult. I'm sorry I lied to you, sir.
You've changed the scene enough that I'll let you roll another deception check.
Deception?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Hold on, so goddamn
You
hard.
literally have a +7, so good lord, man. 20's good.
Finally!
Yeah, 20's good enough. So they probably, like, the priest looks at one another, and they're just like, I think that you don't see this, because, you probably get, like, your head bowed, like, trying to act in shame, right? And they probably look at each other, and they smile and have, like, a silent, like, laughter, like, I remember when we were young acolytes of the temple, like, that kind of thing. And they say, "Be quick, child."
Thank you, sir. Thank you. And then I rush down.
Yeah. You say the phrase as you enter the door, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you say the phrase, you enter the door. It is empty down here, so you're like, you threw your hood back, like you're running around, like trying to figure out what's going on. You finally get to the room, and you enter in, and you feel that wave of like cold water wash over you. And yeah, I think that you see Puck is kind of like sitting on the altar, like with her legs crossed, like swinging them back and forth, like their hands at her side, or hands probably like just balled up in her lap. She looks real sad.
Hey, sweetie, you miss me?
She looks up and just like darts over to you and like gives you a big hug around your neck, although it's like, tiny little hands on your neck.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "Hey, I'm so glad you're here. How do we get out?"
Yeah. I like to inspect the room for any ruins.
You don't see any ruins in the room, no.
No, I mean like in the doorway, like where I passed through, where I felt the cold water.
No, you don't see any.
I like to try to exit the room with Puck. Is she not able to go through?
Correct. She's not able to go through.
And I can't dismiss her because she's no longer my familiar.
That is correct. Yeah, so I think that once you're in the room, maybe you're like, "All right, let's go," and you snap your fingers. And she kind of like looks around. She's like, "What was that?"
It appears you're not my familiar anymore.
She kind of like looks around. She's like, How?
I tried to resummon you, and it summoned somebody else. So technically, you aren't my familiar at the moment.
I think you see her face blanch at that, and she goes, Who did she send?"
She sent Dame, but I sent that asshole back. I don't need anybody else.
She kind of like, she's like shaking her head. She's like, "No.
Don't worry. She wants you.
No.
What's the matter?
No.
Alright, shut up. What's the matter?
She's like, I think she like, she probably like actually like drops down to like the ground, and you see her light kind of flicker a little bit as she's like getting like visibly and emotionally upset, and she's like, she abandoned me.
No, she didn't. She told me to go get you back.
No, she only wants me. No, I can't.
Relax, you idiot. Come on, let's go.
I don't want to be her slave anymore.
You're not my slave, asshole. Even if you want to leave, that's fine, but I'm gonna get you out of here first.
She looks up, and you can see there's, like, tears streaming down her face, and she's like, not you, idiot. Hers.
Oh, you don't want to be her slave?
She just is, like, her tears are just streaming down her face, and she just shakes her head no.
Then don't. I don't see what the problem is here, big girl.
She's like, but Dean, he'll see me. I can't go with you.
What do you mean? I banished him. He's gone.
She's like hyperventilating now a little bit.
Listen, relax, alright? Everything's gonna be okay. Can I try to persuade her or calm her down?
Sure, absolutely.
Fucking really, god damn it.
I mean, Puck is not very hard, right? Like, you've been with her a long time, you know the right thing to say. I think at 11 is fine. Yeah, so after you, like, it probably takes a while, like, right? This role is probably not if you can do it, it's probably how long it takes you to do it. After a while, you know, of some talking back and forth, you manage to calm her down. And she goes, she finally says to you, she's like, okay, how do we get out of here?
Trying to think that through right now. Can I inspect the room for anything
She's
like a glyph?
Oh, I think she asked. She's like, what do we do?
First, we need to find something like a glyph, because these things generally need a power source.
She's like, I think there was one up there. And she points at the roof.
Is there?
Where the grate is.
Do I see it?
She's like, no, you can't see it from the ground, no. She's like, but she says, she's like, it's around the grate, facing downward. They look like this, and she draws with her hand, and you see, like, it leaves, like, a faint glow trail right where she draws. And they look like magic symbols of some sort.
Ah, okay. And then, so I point up, and then I say, am I pointing at it?
She nods.
I fire.
You send fire up there? Is that what you said?
No, I Eldritch Blast that spot.
Okay, yeah. So you Eldritch Blast, and it hits, and there's a moment of, like, where you guys are, there's probably, like, a little bit of dust that, like, falls down, right? And you're, like, looking at each other, like, what happened? And then all of a sudden, just, and you feel, like, the whole room kind of shakes a little bit. And you feel that cold water feeling wash over you again.
And then I try to check to see if I can get out with Puck.
Yeah, so you grab Puck, you stuff her in your jacket, and you Dimension Door.
Yeah.
Yep, you appear outside of the grate.
Yeah, alright. Yeah, I did it! All by myself!
And then you,
And then he gets stabbed by an assassin.
Right, yeah. And then the demon summoning assassin just stabs you in the back of the head.
Yeah. Then I just start walking away.
Cool, yeah, you just start walking away. And the Temple of Sigmar, having never had to live such horrid days as when there are PCs in town, goes about its merry business. And you make it back to the bungalow, safe and sound, with Puck.
Yeah.
And I think when you get there, Puck's probably, like, asleep in your jacket pocket or whatever.
Yeah. Who the fuck is Sputnik?
I'm pretty sure that's Boomer.
So what do you do?
I try to contact my deity again.
You try and contact her?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you can't get to her because you know that works through the familiars.
Oh, yeah. So then I'm gonna do nothing at the moment. I'm gonna relax. I had a tough day.
Okay, yeah, so you go ahead and go to sleep.
Yeah, I'm fucking done with this. If she
Yeah.
wants to get a hold of me, she'll get a hold of me.
Well, she can until you resummon the familiar.
Yeah, no, I'll do that later.
Right, yeah, cool. So you go to sleep, and the night fades out. We hear the audience and all of us obviously hear the rooster crow of morning arriving. So you all wake up and you decide to go about your day. So what do you guys do? Like, you wake up and everybody's back in the bungalow. You've all finally fucking congregated somewhere for the first time in, like, I don't know, like 3 weeks of playing. So what does everybody do? Is there a meeting that is held, I guess,
Yes.
is my real question.
Yeah. Morello would have a meeting with everyone then.
Sure, yeah. So you guys...
Especially
yeah,
after it took that fucking stressful day for her. So, whenever everyone gets there, it would probably be like the central like living room or whatever.
Arcady made pancakes.
Yeah, you know, Arcady has been now proclaimed as the cook for the crew for the party,
Yeah,
and
great.
when everyone is there, she kind of just looks at everyone. She's like, "We need to get to work now." And it seems like I can't leave Chester alone with anyone but Vi. And she kind of like glares over at you, Chester, as she says this.
If I'm with Vi, I'm not alone. Buddy system.
Yes,
She
but
sighs
it
heavily.
might not be a good idea to have two troublemakers together. Granted, Vi, I will say you were splendid last night. Thank you.
I gives you the little wink.
Little finger guns. Do you finger gun them?
I don't, because guns don't exist.
I figure. No,
I beg to differ.
No, I
Yep.
figure gunner because I
that
technically
we
have
know
guns.
of currently.
True.
We don't really understand what they are. is the problem.
Yeah. The idea of a gun is alien to
Yes,
the group.
exactly.
I understand.
Finger
So, yeah.
crossbows.
Yeah.
As like
you,
the all.
Oh my
probably.
God, that would
you
be
like you hold out
amazing.
your finger like a gun, and then you pull the string back and fire it, and that's how you do the finger guns.
Perfect.
Instead of like
my
instead of the bend your thumb for the hammer, you pull back the strings and then do the
Yep.
finger hand crossbow. It's great.
So
Yep.
I suggest we have 3-person party, like 2-3 people teams.
You mean like yesterday? That went so well. No, we
I
need to
think
do.
the problem was grouping.
Yes. I am aware of that. She looks over at Chester again as she says that. Anyways.
You left me with Farron. You know what happened.
Anyways. Baron. You apparently owe money to these two. As
Kai holds
Will
her
is
hand
there.
out and does one of the like, give me the money signs.
Is Will even here? Did he pass out or is he just muted?
Will.
'Cause-
Yes, hello.
Okay.
Yeah, I hand over the remaining money in the lockbox and say, borrowed money, and then
Yeah,
I think
so
Kai
when
just
you
swipes from you and says, "Well, we agree to disagree."
yeah, when he says borrowed and things like that, how much do you owe left, Baron?
the healing cost 100 gold, which I am prepared to pay back in full.
I also demand a 50 gold surcharge from you.
She just looks over at Hannibal like, the fuck?
You fucking
And-
heard me.
She shakes her head and she's like,
I lost
Well-
I lost my ghost child because of you.
it doesn't
It's
matter
all
at the
your
moment.
fault.
Anyways, we need to start getting what we need done here quickly. Chester, Vi, I want you to take Farron with you in searching for those that are hunting you down. Find out who and where they are within the city, if they are indeed within the city. Petrov, I need you to set up more further meetings with the other nobles in the city.
Yeah, sooner
And
done than
Hannibal.
said.
Hmm.
I believe we might need you to possibly be more of a diplomatic role. You seem to have a good way with words.
Sure.
I need to get a few things from these nobles, one way or another.
Oh, I'm good at the other.
Yes, I know. But other than that, that's all I wish to really discuss about. She looks up at the others, and like kind of like gestures them to like do as they please.
Does anybody else have any input on that conversation?
I would like to go back into my room to talk to Bucky.
Vi was only half listening, and she's just sitting there counting money.
Right.
Chester is right over her shoulder.
Making sure every piece is there.
It's like the double count.
On my way to my room, I'd like to pat Farron on the shoulder, like looking at my eyes. You know about that $50 gold coin surcharge?
Hey, I had nothing to do with your dead baby child.
Listen, I just want you to know, if you don't pay that back, I will have a grudge and try to ruin your relationship with Morella.
Ouch.
Oh, like that's so hard.
I know. I'm like, he does that on his own. What?
I think
if you pay it, I'll help you so much.
I think
I'll also need you to take that 50 gold to buy me an alchemical set, please. You have to do it, not me. You specifically.
I think when he says all of that, I would pull out a small dagger, just point it at his belly, and say, "Don't you ever dare to threaten me."
Do you think that scares me, boy?
I mean, it seems like a legitimate threat, right? Like,
it does,
like,
but Hannibal does not take well to threats.
Right, so your face can remain as neutral, or your attitude can remain as neutral, but like you can tell he's legit in his threat.
Yes, that's
so.
fine.
Is next week's session just going to be a party death match, or
we'll come
with
to
Arcadi just cooking pancakes in the background?
We'll come to blows if that happens.
With his little chef hat on.
I just want to let you know there, Farron boy, I'm no pushover, and I'll definitely take you down.
Oh, I'd like to see you try that.
Okay, let me just ask this.
Not as good.
Let me just ask this. Is this done, like, literally at the same table?
Yeah, no, I think everybody's in the room,
Yeah, so Morella, like, notices, like, all this, like, going around. Wow.
I
Probably
that.
Petrov.
No, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to
notices,
whisper
the conversation. She doesn't hear it, but she notices it.
Yeah.
Because
she notices
you're
the
standing
notification.
at Farron type of deal. So it's more of like Arcadi's like giving out like food and things like that, and like Morella's just like noticing the situation. She probably kicks the table a little bit, knocking over some of the coins. Maybe if Vi had it set up on the table.
Vi
and she's
literally
like, "Did you
stands
hear me?"
up and is like, "What the?" Because she literally just counted that.
Yeah,
stack.
she gives you a cold, dead stare. And she's like, "Did you hear me?"
I heard you just fine.
And I was saying, by you, I meant Vi.
I just salute you and then go back to counting, picking a crap about the floor.
And then she like looks over at you, Hannibal, and Farron, and she's like, "Do try to play nicely."
Oh, we're best friends, and I put my arms over his shoulder.
Of course, milady.
That harder than normal squeeze from the both of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it. Yes, yes, Mama Morella. Arcadi, let's jump into Arcadi's mind right now.
oh, let's
What in Petrov's vision for what this was going to be? How close are we?
There are 6 people in this room.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much where it ends.
Okay. Yeah. Makes perfect sense. Yep. Absolutely.
So we've got the princess's BFF and my bard lackey threatening to stab each other. Chester killed a man, and everyone's apparently just okay with that now.
No, Morella's not okay with it, but
I mean,
literally offered him more money to not kill people.
right, but Petrov doesn't know that, right? Like Petrov.
Yeah.
There was a conversation.
no.
Morello
In fact,
also did threaten that, if he does it again, he's essentially
Yeah,
dead.
I wasn't there for either of those.
I would
parts.
venture to
It's
guess.
just-
I would venture to guess there's a mark on the face of
Oh yeah, big
Chester
well.
as well. There's like a big like bruise on the side of his face, roughly in the shape of a hand.
Yep. Would not doubt.
Yep. So yeah, Arkady is
So yeah, a lot of
slowly
my
losing
plans from
control.
now are, I think, going to focus on getting Morella into places and leaving everyone else behind.
It's good. It's good. I like it.
Although, I mean, that's not safe because then I don't know where they are, so I'm going to have to try to orchestrate everybody.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I think yeah, that's a great scene, is like Petrov is like maybe envisioning the future, right? And like with your mastermind capabilities, you're like trying to see all the angles and how to pull and push people in certain ways. I think that's great. I think that's
As
really
I ladle out syrup for waffles.
good.
With your apron on and your
Yeah, because
I mean, I'm a Catholic, so I feel like the apron really just goes up to neck, but like is full body.
it's actually a bib for everyone else. It's an apron for you, but it's everyone else's bib.
Fair enough.
adorable.
Yeah, you're just the most adorable. Because like, to be honest, realistically, Petrov's probably like the most dangerous, right? Like he
could-
wields a lot of the power, right?
I mean, from my own perspective, sure.
Right. Yeah. Physically, maybe not, but I would be aware of
Influentially.
Petrov. But I think that the only other thing that we probably see is, and this is for audience purposes, but also to set the tone, kind of, is we see a shot of the Grand Hall, and we see that the Oganist Wayfarer is at the pulpit, and all of the knights and priests are in attendance, and we can't hear anything, but he is like up there giving like a very like emotional and powerful speech to them, and I think that he at the end of it, he takes up a piece of paper, and there's like a wall, like a stone wall that's underneath like this big symbol of Sigmar behind him. He takes a piece of paper and he puts it against the wall, and he takes out this big hammer and he just spikes it to the wall, and as he pulls his hand away, we can see that there are like 3 very badly like drawn portraits with like the hair color and eye color, like the descriptions that that you had to give them, which are bad, right? They're probably not going to be able to identify you, but it's just to kind of set the scene. And he just like puts a big hammer, and we see that on the wall as he's giving the speech, and you see like a lot of the knights, like they're putting on helmets and they're like getting their armor on, and like they're in crusade mode, as it were. And I think that's probably the last scene we see at the end of the session.
Only words being muttered, purge the heresy. Type of deal. But yes.
Yeah, no, at the bottom of that page it probably says heretics, right? Like that's, instead of like wanted or like criminals, it says heretics across the top.
Nice.
Yep.
Man.
It's good job, guys. We're now heretics amongst the Empire religion.
Yeah.
Keep adding
Man.
See how
titles
much
to our
more shit.
name.
Well,
That's
so
gonna be great.
here's the deal, right? Like I said, lucky for you guys, Chester did a great job at explaining and avoiding and being evasive.
Yes.
So the deal is, right, like they won't be able to identify you, but your actions have clearly set in motion something very powerful from the church, right? Like, regardless of whether or not they're coming after you, they're coming after some people, and it's going to cause a lot of problems.
Oh yeah.
Because the Church of Sigmar don't fuck around.
No, they
Oh
do
yeah, and you
not.
all get a long rest, so make sure you add your hit dice, because I know people have been spending hit dice willy-nilly. And
half our level,
half your level
or half the
down.
total.
Yeah, half your level.
Yeah.
So everybody should get 3. hit dice back.
Okay.
And you do that obviously after you roll. And you get your spell slots back and all that other fun stuff. So make sure all that's recorded, and we'll be good for the next session. And everybody, I think 967 is the amount of experience that everybody gets.
967.
Yeah, it's the same as last time, with no additional combat or anything like that. Oh wait, no, you had combat. You totally had combat. Hold on, let me give you a little bit of extra.
Yeah, we murdered about some people.
Yeah, no, it wasn't necessarily combat, but it was like a quest completion run through. So let me give you guys some extra experience for that.
Save Chester, even though he totally didn't need it.
Man,
I mean,
Chester
Chester
fucked
technically
some shit
did
up.
kill somebody. Does he get XP for that?
That was last week.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
true.
Chester didn't kill
That's
Yeah.
anyone this week.
Dude, me and Vi get a specific XP boost because we were the only ones that fought, and Chester gets
Fortunately, it
minus.
still gets divided between everybody.
Did Chester still get minus?
No, Chester does not get minus experience. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Hey, Jordan, what did I frisk off that guard?
Oh, I will message that to you.
Gotcha.
After the game for sure. I'll message that to you. You did
I
get
like
some.
frisking people.
You did. That's gross. You did definitely get some stuff though.
Man, this was a good session.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
much
everybody
shit.
actually, not 967, but everybody gets that much.
Oh.
That's a nice even number.
Sweet.
Yeah, it is a nice even number. It's crazy how that worked out. Cool.
Man, so bye.
I'm gonna do my outro real quick. I'll talk to you guys in a
Okay.
second. Hello, stream. Hope y'all are doing wonderful. Your question there. The Rafacast, however you say that. Half their hit dice rounded up. In 5th edition, when you take a long rest, you regain half of your hit dice rounded up. I do healing a little bit differently in my 5th edition games. I don't do the you get full health when you do a long rest, because my games typically have a lot of travel that have a lot of distance in them. So the only way they can recover hit points is through using their hit dice. And they can use their hit dice at the end of a long rest or at the end of a short rest. It's in the DMG as the slow natural healing rule. But yeah, I use that because I have a lot of travel in my games, and it would be it's just easier for me to plan things out that way. Also makes for a bit better experience for the players too. They actually feel in trouble sometimes. But that's it. I hope you guys enjoy. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you. Appreciate that. And catch us every single week, Fridays, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. EST for more Siege of the Empire. If you're interested in more RPGs, I do have another game that runs on Sundays from 5 p.m. EST to 9 p.m. EST. And that is a different system. It's actually a sci-fi game. So if you're not into the whole fantasy thing, or you want to see just some other cool things that involve me, hey, I'm always down. You can check me out right here on the YouTube if you want to rewatch all those. It's called Olympus Rises. Or you can show up on Sunday at my Twitch, which and check us out there. That's all I got. I'm tired. I'm going to go to sleep. Hope you all have a wonderful night. Also, go Team USA. Watch some Olympics. Woo woo.